Welcome to the Hillsborian Historian. My name is Rex, and this is the history of the Seawolf Restaurant. The address 4115 East Busch Boulevard has an amazing history. In the late 60s and early 1970s, this was the home to Treasureland. Patrons could walk around and learn the legend of Jose Gaspar. But like all such legends, things begin to come to an end at some point. In late 1973, it was pretty clear that the pirating days were over. In 1976, Gene Holloway opened the Lakeland Seawolf. In 1977, a new legend began at 4115 East Busch Boulevard when the Tampa Seawolf began construction. This restaurant was destined to be a place of fine art and opulence. I mean, look at this menu. What would you order? The interior of this place was amazing, unlike anything around. But just who was Gene Holloway? Holloway was always an adventurer of sorts, and in his youth he climbed the Antarctic volcano Mount Erebus. Later in life, Holloway collected big cats. Look at these animals, they're just beautiful. One time, one of these pets actually got away. Thankfully, other than a scared chihuahua, everybody was all right. Holloway was also an art collector and was said to have discovered a painting that had not been seen in over 100 years. The Baptism of Lithuania by Gerson is a true masterpiece, and Holloway hoped to place it in Tampa's Airside B. This was planned because it was hopefully going to bring the Pope to Tampa, but that never quite worked out. The Seawolf's popularity continued in 1979 when Holloway offered customers free gasoline. In 1980, two Seawolf employees were shot by a criminal. Gene Holloway tried to chase the culprit. After this incident, Gene Holloway realized that some people really do care, and perhaps this is what sparked him to decide that he might run for president. But the White House was not in the cards for Gene. And to make matters worse, in 1981, his Thanodisasa home was destroyed by fire. Later in 1981, Gene Holloway went missing. It was said that Gene fell off the side of a boat, and no body was ever found. The Coast Guard eventually called off the search. Almost immediately, many began to question the validity of this story. Some pointed to a messy divorce, as well as dire financial situations that Gene was involved in. Gene also had a connection to the North Tampa airport, where many seemed to disappear. Legal testimony into the night of Holloway's disappearance took place, and while some parts of the story seemed off, a conservator was eventually appointed to the estate of Gene Holloway. The legend of Gene Holloway's disappearance continued to grow, and then Gene Holloway was arrested in Canada.
Now on Night Beat with Greg Roberts. Gene, how you doing? This is Tampa's infamous Gene Holloway, a man of many faces, sporting a new one in Canada last week. Gene, how do you feel?
When he was arrested, Gene had over $250,000 in cash on him. A messy divorce was what was cited for his actions, and he actually had gotten a nose job to help disguise himself. Gene was soon headed back to the United States, and in Tampa, his celebrity continued to grow. Some questioned if this was a good thing, but that train had left the station. Q105 even hosted a Gene Holloway look-alike contest.
And these are the many faces of Gene Holloway, as seen tonight at the first ever Gene Holloway look-alike contest in Tampa. Sponsored by local radio station Q105, the contest...
Holloway would serve time for the crime, and his fancy artwork and antiques were auctioned off. Eventually, the tobacco company restaurant would open on the Busch Boulevard site of the Seawolf. However, in 1987, Gene Holloway was back in the restaurant business, opening up a new Seawolf on Henderson Boulevard in Tampa. Gene's celebrity continued. He soon opened another Seawolf restaurant on Busch Boulevard in a Best Western. Another Seawolf restaurant would soon open in Homosassa Springs. None of these locations really lasted very long. In 1991, there was a fire in the building that housed the 4115 Busch Boulevard location. Like so many dreams, this building went up in smoke. As for Gene Holloway, the last I heard, he was still seeking adventure off the coast of Florida. "4115 East Busch Boulevard has seen a lot of history. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves. Till next time."